I'm Becky Masterman, and I run the Bee Squad for the University of Minnesota Bee Lab. And I am in the Horst Rechelbacher Pollinator Project Apiary here in Osceola, Wisconsin, to show you that testing for Varroa destructor mites is not only important, but it can be fun. So, let's take a look at this colony and test their mite levels. Going to blow some smoke in the entrance. Take off their supers that they're working on. And I'm going to look for a frame of brood that has both open and closed cells. So I'm looking for larvae and pupae on the same frame. And that's where I'm going to want to take my sample from. We do that because we know that the mites prefer nurse bees when they're traveling, in their traveling stage, or when they're feeding on adult bees. So that's what we're going to look for. And I think that this is a perfect frame of brood. I wonder if you can see it. I'll get a little bit closer. So we have both open and sealed cells on this frame. So I'm going to take my Varroa mite testing kit. And in the kit we have a scoop that will help us collect 100 milliliters of bees, which is 300 bees. And I also need to make sure that I have a place to put the bees. And that's going to be in this jar that I almost couldn't open with a screened lid. So I'm going to get that ready. I'm going to pick up my frame again. I'm going to make sure that I don't have a queen on this frame. And I don't see her. So I'm going to go ahead and take my scoop, and I'll place my frame just like this, and I'm going to scoop down, not up. You would think you go up, but you actually go down with the scoop, and the bees are going to roll into the cup. So I'm going to be able to go down the frame and collect the bees in the cup. I'm going to go to both sides, and now I have 100 mils that I'm going to put in the jar. I'll cover them before they fly away. I'm going to carefully put the brood frame back. And I can also take this frame that I took out to make room back into the colony. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to close the jar, and I'm going to add powdered sugar. So the powdered sugar is going to be rolled over the bees, and the bees are going to warm up a little bit, and the dust in the powdered sugar, the cornstarch and the sugar, that's going to dislodge the mites from the bees. And we say to put about 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar just through the cap, and then we let the bees heat up for a little bit. We do put them in the shade, but the bees, after we roll the sugar around a little bit, the bees are just heating up in this jar, and that's going to dislodge the mites for measurement. So we put them safely in the shade, and I have got the timer set on my phone for 2 minutes. Here's where the fun comes in. I am going to take you on a tour. So, I said we're in the Horst Rechelbacher Pollinator Project Apiary. Can you see the gnome behind me? Well, I've got a few more to show you. So, whoa, look at this guy right here. So, these gnomes were carved by Martin Ornelius. And Martin is actually Pedro Ornelius' brother. And Pedro, look at, there's another one. Pedro works at the Horst Rechelbacher organic farm, along with Brian Elkin, who they helped us by putting this apiary together. So I've got about a minute left. I'm going to show you a few more gnomes. Look at this guy. That guy. And then what apiary is finalized without a wizard who's in our corner over here. And his friend. And then a nice bench that's been carved out for our viewing pleasure if people want to just watch the bees fly back and forth out of the apiary. I'll show you one more thing. This is the Bee Informed Partnership Sentinel Apiary that we have here in Osceola. So using the Bee Informed Partnership Sentinel Apiary program, we're monitoring mites and nosema in these colonies here. Let's go back though to our sample. And what I'm going to do is shake these bees. I've got 11 seconds left. So I'm going to shake them into this white tub, but there's a screen, and so the bees will stay in the jar. And in the tub, we're going to have the mites fall through. So I've set my timer again, because if we don't time it, we tend to not go long enough for the shaking. So you're going to have to bear with me here. We've got 46 seconds left, and we're going to look for mites here. So at this time, the mites, actually I'm seeing them come off from out of the jar into this container. But because they're coming off in powdered sugar, they're actually difficult to visualize. So when I'm done shaking in 25 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and use the water in this jug or this bottle to clear the powdered sugar so that I can visualize and actually count the number of mites in this sample. So 100 milliliters of wrapped down bees is about 300 bees. So however many mites I count in this sample, I'm going to divide it by 3, and that's going to give me my number of how many mites per 100 bees are in this colony. Okay. A little tip, I don't open the jar right away because these girls might be a little bit mad, but they're going to forget about it in a little bit. And I'm using the water, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've got 9 mites that I'm seeing. And divide that by 3, we've got about 3 mites per 100 bees. You can see some of the mites in here. There's a pollen load. Let's see. Trying to give you a good view of this. You can see the mites in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these bees back now. And I'll keep you close, and you can see that I'm going to put the bees back into the colony, and they're covered with powdered sugar. So they're fine. You can see they're all moving. Their sisters are going to start cleaning them off right away. And you can see some of them are already fanning, and some of them are releasing Nasonoff pheromone. So, and let's see, is anybody getting cleaned off here yet? Yep, right there. They're going to work right there. So that's great. These girls are going to live to forage or take care of the colony another day. And we have our mite numbers, and we're going to go ahead and take care of these mites. Thank you.